Welcome to Roosterville USA. Today, we're looking at a massive historical disconnect. We're examining how a nation processes its 250th birthday by zooming in on Missouri. In 1776, 56 men signed a document the British Crown considered a death warrant. These signatures represented a physical gamble, an act of literal treason, marking them for execution. Today, we commemorate that terrifying moment with deep-fried food on sticks, neon glow necklaces, and booming concert speakers. Visualizing 2.5 centuries of war, growth, and survival all at once is like staring directly at the sun. The sheer scale of 250 years is too vast for the human brain to process in a single glance. Because the grand narrative of this country is so abstract, we don't look to Washington, D.C. or Philadelphia to see how it survives. To find the story, we have to use a much smaller lens.
We're leaving the national monuments behind and dropping straight into the pioneer roots of Clay County, Missouri, a cluster of towns known as Roosterville. Sweeping historical narratives only endure when they are kept alive through personal, local traditions. This is an unbroken story passed down by the families working the farms and navigating the Missouri River. To understand America's 250th anniversary, we have to shrink the timeline to a human scale. We need to see how individual towns force history into a physical, present-tense experience. Take Liberty, Missouri. The town transitions from the high-energy entertainment of Liberty Fest to the quiet intimacy of the historic downtown square. There, between the farmers market and families in lawn chairs, they hold a public, out-loud reading of the Declaration of Independence in the Missouri heat. Standing shoulder to shoulder with your neighbors while a human voice projects those revolutionary words makes the history undeniable. It forces the abstract ideas of 1776 into the physical present. This ritual provides auditory proof that the community still stands. By reading those words in a shared space, the town performs an active renewal of the original social contract. Neighboring towns express that same spirit in different ways. The Gladstone Freedom Fest offers staggering crowds and that electrical, high-energy joy that only happens when thousands of people experience the same peak moment simultaneously. Parkville and historic Weston offer the opposite, a sanctuary from modern chaos. Walking on uneven brick streets laid by hand a century ago physically reassures the brain, offering proof that some things endure. At Smithville Lake, the experience changes again. When massive fireworks reflect off the dark water, the feeling of something vast pulls you violently into the present. In the face of that scale, your sense of self shrinks. For 20 minutes, mortgages and political grievances vanish, because you are sharing a moment of smallness with thousands of other people. Whether through adrenaline, quiet streets, or lakeside stillness, these events create a space where the community can exist without the friction of daily life. Today's events are massive, but the local memories of B.G. Roberts point to a simpler era, growing up on a Clay County farm in the 1960s. That era was tactile and unpretentious. Neighbors spent the day in the heat, slicing cold watermelon on porches, and wandering between houses without the need for an organized schedule. Connection was built through physical labor, like the slow, communal effort required to turn a hand-cranked ice cream maker for a simple dessert. Modern Kearney recreates that hometown feeling using gourmet food trucks and glowing commercial setups. The scale has evolved into a highly produced municipal event. It leads to a difficult question. Have we become so focused on having the biggest show and the most food trucks that we've forgotten the significance of simply being together? If we view these events like a theater production, the answer becomes clear. The transition from a quiet dirt road to a massive modern festival is just a change in the set dressing. The props are louder and the lighting is brighter, but the fundamental human need for connection hasn't changed a single word of the script. People don't brave the Missouri humidity just for a snow cone. They go to the park to stand in a public space where they feel safe, surrounded by their neighbors. The $1 million fireworks are ultimately a manufactured excuse to gather in the dark. The local social fabric remains intact, regardless of the scale of the spectacle. Because the act of showing up is the whole point, navigating these events requires giving your neighbors grace.
The people in the long traffic lines are the same ones who just shared that lakeside experience with you. Community endurance requires active care, bringing patience, staying hydrated, and spending money at local vendors to ensure these traditions can return next year. Caring for the people in that square is a direct reflection of the values those 56 men signed for. That means being mindful of the noise, protecting young hearing, and checking in on veterans who might find the explosions more taxing than celebratory. The mundane, frustrating moments of today are the archives of tomorrow. We are building the cherished memories for 2076 right now. Put your phone away for the finale and be present for the history you're making. If you appreciate the endurance of small-town America, share your local traditions in the comments, and be sure to like and subscribe to help preserve the stories of Roosterville, USA. We'll catch you on the next deep dive.